Scene/Chapter 24. Foregoing an immediate benefit because of future consequences. All saved but the bitch escapes. WTF. They look out of the window and they see buildings in the distance start to burst into flames. As they run out of the building, it explodes in true super flame style behind them, with more buildings bursting into flames as they run to the container port. When they turn back, the building with the executive dome on it splits apart to reveal a 3-winged rocket. Dick says, "Oh bloody hell, she's got a Thunderbird 3. Why couldn't it be Fireball XL5 on a ramp?" They all tell him, "Shut up, Dick, this is not a movie." Dick mutters, "It could be." The rocket blasts off into the sky, splits into 3 and continues up into the blue sky. Dick says, "Shit, she's got away." Bob says, "Stories never end, they just bud new blossoms." Dick says, "Buds blossom, new buds blossom. So much for journalism, blooming crazy." Faithful to her cause and not backing down, Auntie Ant saves what she can of value for herself by leaving. One of the scientists says, "No loss, we have all the details stored on the MindNet." They all look at him. She has only blown her center and the control building, not the research labs or the babies or kids. She does have a value for life. Bob looks at him in dismay but thinking, and says, "Well, as you said, we are nature and what we do is nature, I suppose, but isn't this all a bit extreme?" The scientists continue. She has a horde of clone Antons on her space base who are small enough to cope with the extended height that living in low gravity creates without something like the gravity we have here to restrict us overgrowing. Bob says, "What, more in a smaller space? Wow, now it's Willy Wonka's Oompa Loompas." Dick says, "Now you are at it, do they make chocolate?" adding his nasal laugh. The scientists say, "A space center, human space creatures. It's called adaptation, with a little help from evolved nature, like us." Then they say, "Fiber chocolate is good space food, it holds everything together." They all look at each other and say, "That's disgusting." As they move towards the dock and turn a building, they stop in shock to see the collection of news teams with army backup has grown and more have arrived on boats while they were inside the buildings trying to catch the Auntie Ant CEO. Bob pops a wry smile that the news organizations could not contain their desire for sensationalism and shown their determination to catch a slice of the action. They don't realize that with the publicity of this complex they are now opening doors to destroy many corrupt organizations who have been profiting with it. They turn to the news teams and army, who are all now in a stunned group, holding girls and babies, and Bob says, "End of story. Hope you enjoy what we have exposed of the effect of ultimate capitalism on small children." The leaders and Bob's boss look as if they have been dragged into something they didn't want to report or act on, as it is globally disturbing to the oppressive corporate world who thought they had hold of the control handles. One of Bob's newsroom colleagues says to him, "It's good you eventually put trust in your skills, well done." As the news teams interview girls and members of the Jets, Bob moves slowly away to the edge of the crowd with his girls. The boats are filling with small girls performing magnificent martial arts leaps and tricks in the lines like a scene out of some Hong Kong, Run Run Shaw, kung fu movie, as they line up to enter. The Jets say, "These are a bunch of superpower intelligent refugees we want on our side. They contain living proof of an experience we are taught to expect from the monks if we train hard." They scientists say it's okay, most of them have not been spayed like animals, and like Kiguya the mouse can have children, although doing that their gene pool lineage will be diluted, but it is important that they get a choice in their lives, although, try stopping them. It would take more than the existing human. Bob says spayed. They say it's a word that means made unable to have children. Bob says yes, but it's a word used by vets to be used on pets. The scientists say, "Look, They are far from pets and it's best not to annoy them or anyone they respect, especially in groups like this, although there is nothing to worry about as they have had good teaching to take all bad feelings out of them. There is not a nasty bone in their sweet bodies. However, if bred with aggressive-minded humans that may change, so it's best to let them make their own choice. Bob says bread. The scientists start to say it's a word that means. Bob stops them and says yes, yes, I know, I know. Bob holds hands with Siri and Pooh and moves off into the trees. The Jets stand in the way of the news teams saying interviews later and let them go while the rest of the lady boys are helping girls holding babies into the hovership and other boats that have arrived, assisted by the army men with some of the Jets blowing kisses at them. Dick, arm in arm with what appears to be a new girlfriend who looks very similar to one of the auntie henchmen, also follows Bob and the girls. They disappear into the trees where super jet skis are sitting on the banks of the river and they start them up and jet off down the river. The scientists take off their coats, hang them on a wall and move away from the crowd and start talking to groups as if they are journalists holding notepads as they look around.